December 2017, question number 3, boy. We are told to do basically a group cash flow statement. If you look at question number 3, boy, required for 14 marks. They want us to give them a group cash flow statement of cash flows in accordance with the IAS 7 statement of cash flows for the year ended 31st October 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, if that is the case, if it's a group cash flow statement, nitaanzia wapi? Of course, najua, I wish my board was able to do this. Najua lazima nianza na operating activities. So we have here operating activities. We have operating. So we have our operating activities. We have our operating activities. Which other activities do we have in our group cash flow statement? Which other activity do we have, ladies and gentlemen? So we have investing activities. I'll come and provide here for investing activities, investing activities. And then lastly, ladies and gentlemen, I have what here, somebody lastly, I'll continue with this. Lastly, I have the financing activities. Which I'll come and underline. You guys are lucky because you'll have one sheet. Ladies and gentlemen, after financing activities, of course, I know that here I have shillings. I'll have to capture my currencies like that. Shillings there, right? I have shillings here, all right? Shillings and shillings there, all right? So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I'll come and capture something we call total movement. The total movement in terms of my activities, I'll be able to get a figure there, right? Which in this case, I'll be able to add cash and the cash equivalents at the beginning, and the cash equivalent brought forward or at the beginning. Cash and the cash equivalent at the beginning. And then, of course, the moment I add like that, I should be able to get the cash and the cash equivalent. Cash and the cash equivalent at the end. Now, look at this. The free marks normally zinaanzia hapa. Yeah, we are using indirect method. Remember, we had started doing this question yesterday. We are starting with the indirect method, yes. We are starting with the indirect method. So, ladies and gentlemen, the free mark, I have some free marks here. This cash and the cash equivalents at the beginning. Is there somebody who can give me a figure for cash and the cash equivalent at the beginning? Cash and the cash equivalent at the beginning. Please look at your current assets. Are you able to see the cash and the cash equivalents? Cash and the cash equivalents at the beginning. Can somebody give me the figure, somebody? Aki hawaniongeleshe. I don't know why they're not talking to me. Na vile tuko na haraka leo. Leo tuko na haraka sana. Leo tutaki mchezo kwa siku zote. Ukiangalia vizuri, tuko na cash and the bank balances. We have got 2 years. Yes, we have got 2 years. So the 2016 cash and bank balance becomes my beginning balance. So this should be 390. And then I have now cash and the cash equivalent at the end, which is the 2017 figure. The 2017 figure, ladies and gentlemen, 390. The 2017 figure is 500 and what here, somebody? 510. So ukiangalia marking scheme ya CASMEB, in most cases, utaona wameweka hapa tick, hapa kwa kuwekea 0.5, meaning that you have gotten already 1 mark. And 1 mark for us, ladies and gentlemen, in advanced financial reporting, 1 mark is so huge. It can make you see places that you have never seen before. Great. Now, if you're together, ladies and gentlemen, then I'll be able to do my posting here very fast. And remember, for us here today, it's not even about balancing. We must agree from the beginning. Today, because it's the last lesson that we have, it will be about low-hanging fruits. What should you do for you to get 12 out of 14? What should you do for you to get 12 out of 14? So tukujeni hapa katika operating, remember you're using indirect method. Indirect method. So katika operating activities, tuanza na profit before tax. So profit before tax. Profit before tax. Are you able to see the profit before tax? Are you able to see the profit before tax? Are you able to see the profit before tax? Are you able to see the profit before tax? Are you able to see the profit before tax? Are you able to see the profit before tax? Tuende pole pole kwanza, profit before tax. Tuende pole pole kwanza, profit before tax. Please go straight away to the income statement that you have there. The income statement that you have there, what do we have? Somebody there as the profit before tax. Remember, income statement will be given to us for just 1 year. For just 1 year. And the balance sheet for cash flows, the balance sheet will be given balance sheet for how many years? For 2 years. Balance sheet will be given balance sheet for 2 years. So tuende saa pole pole pale, tunaambiwa profit before tax, it is 699. It is 699 like that, 699. And then now you'll have to recall very fast, my good students, that when we talk of operating profit, we are or rather operating activity, we are supposed to start straight away with operating profit. Unafaa kukumbuka namna hiyo. Na operating profit nimekufunza katika finance. Tunajua kwamba operating profit is profit before interest and who? Profit before interest and tax. It is profit before interest and tax. It is profit before interest and tax. So meaning that to get this figure, these guys of course must have subtracted the interest. They must have subtracted the interest. So what we need to do very fast is to add back what here? The interest. We must always begin from the profit before interest and tax. So are you able to see the interest charge for the year? Interest charge for the year. Is there somebody who is able to see the interest charge for the year? Wanasema ni 450, isn't it? If you look at the income statement, they have given us the finance what year? They have given us the finance cost. So come here and add the finance cost here. Add the finance cost. So the finance cost on hapa ni 400 what year? 50. If you wish, you can go ahead and add for you to give us what we call profit before what? Interest and the tax, if you wish. Lakini kitu mzuri unaweza wacha ikae hivyo, to add finance cost ikae namna hiyo. Aya, sasa vile mwalimu wangu alinifunza those days nikifanya ma ACCA na ma CPA, aliniambia hapa kwa profit before tax, sumepatiwa figure ya 699. Ukiangalia profit, wamekupatia profit before tax. Wamekuambia ni 600 what ya somebody 99. Great. So kwenda juu kuna adjustments ambao tunafaa tufanye. So unaangalia hizo figures kwenda juu. There are adjustments in this case you're supposed to do. The first adjustment nikienda juu pole pole, the first adjustment ni your finance cost, which I've said in this case here add back. Nikienda juu pole pole, oye, ukiangalia juu kwenda pole pole namna hiyo, kuna some element which is not good. Which element is that? Are you able to see the share of profit after tax ya associate? Naenda kwenda juu. Are you able to see the share of profit after tax in associate? Yes. So utakuja hapo seme, in this case here, less the associates what here? The associates profit here. Associates profit. So associate profit ni ya pesa ngapi somebody? Associate profit ni ya pesa ngapi? Associate profit ni ya 144. I have to deduct it simply because they had added the figure to arrive at this. Now, can someone talk to me this afternoon? Why am I subtracting, ladies and gentlemen, this associate's profit? Why am I subtracting it? It's because of what here? Misplacement. Upper, the income has been recognized under what here? Somebody operating activity, and yet it's supposed to be accounted for under where? Under where? It's supposed to be accounted for under where? Under investing. We have invested what here? In an associate. We have invested in an associate. Yes, we have invested in an associate. So hii itaenda baadaye katika computation ya nini somebody ya investing activity. Pia ukiendelea kwenda juu, I'm still going up and up. I'm still going up and up. Are you able to see the gain on sale of a subsidiary? Are you able to see the gain on sale of a subsidiary? So less subsidiary gain. Na simplify kidogo hapa hii majina. Less subsidiary gain. How much, ladies and gentlemen, are you able to see there? How much are you able to see there? Wanasema 100 and who? 120. We are subtracting because gain, they must have added. The gain, they must have done what here, somebody? For the gain, they must have added. For the gain, they must have added. Great. So tunaendelea vizuri. Ukiangalia pia vizuri katika cost of sales. Katika cost of sales, of course, kutakuwa na depreciation. Ukiangalia note number 1. Hebu angalia note number 1. Wanakuambia during the year ended 31st October 2017, depreciation of shillings 240 million was charged in relation to property, plant and what year? Equipment. That's number 1. Number 1. Angalia note number 2. An item of property with a carrying value of 885 million was disposed of during the year ended 31st October 2017 for shillings 750 million. The loss is on disposal. The loss on disposal is part of the cost of what year? Part of the cost of sales. Part of the cost of sales. So, ladies and gentlemen, here I have depreciation. I have depreciation. I have depreciation. So depreciation, of course, we know it's a non-cash item. Depreciation is a non-cash item. And they used it in computation of what here? The profit. So then what should we do with this depreciation? It's non-cash. Depreciation is non-cash. I'm still going up. I'm still going up. Should I less? I add back. You know, depreciation is an expense that this guy is included wrongly in the cost of what here? Say sales, meaning that our profit was taken way down. So we need to make good. So how do we make good? We add back what here? Depreciation. Thank you very much. So add back depreciation. So add depreciation. So we are lucky because this has been computed for us. Depreciation of how much? Depreciation of how much, ladies and gentlemen? 240 positive. 240 positive. From there, we also have this loss. The loss on disposal of this asset. We know that also that loss is fictitious. It's fictitious. So come here and give us the loss. Could you kindly calculate for me the loss on disposal? The loss on disposal. Is there somebody who can calculate for me the loss on disposal? Loss on disposal. Wanasema ni 100 what here? 35. Wanasema ni 135. So this 135, should I add it back or in this case, subtract? How did we get the 135? To get the 135, it's very easy. We've looked at how much we received. We received the cash we received here from the asset from note number 2 was 750. And what in this case here is the carrying amount. The carrying amount is 885. Yani an asset which is worth 885, si tukauza 750. Tukauza 750. Tukauza 750. So you will be able to bear witness with me that this will give us a whole loss of 135. 135. And this loss, we are told, was expensed in the cost of sales. So then how do we make good now? How do we make good now? How do we make good? How do we make good? How do we make good? We add. So add loss on what here, somebody? Add loss on disposal. Add loss on disposal. Add loss on disposal. Aya, kitu ingine unafaa kujua, hizi vitu ukizitumia, kama unafanya group cash flow statement, whenever you pick up some items from your notes or from the financial statements, it's important that you keep on ticking them. It's important that you keep on ticking them. Like there is a question that students asked, what about, there's something they asked there, but later on we shall be able to check which items are not ticked like that. Na sitajiforce kuangalia kila kitu. Kama sasa for example mali nimefika hapa, hata sitajiforce kuangalia kwanza mambo ya tax. Nitakuja niwache line kadhaa. Line kama ngapi tunawacha hapa? Tuwache lines kadhaa. Right? Like now what Joy is saying, tuwache lines kama 5, Tutazipata mbele tu. Tuwache lines kama 5. Alafu kuja hapo niandikie working capital changes. Working capital changes. Hata vitu kama tax takuja baadaye. But I want to teach you what you need to do for you to keep the wheel rolling. because the concept is to keep the wheel rolling. You keep the wheel rolling. So working capital changes. Working capital changes. So working capital changes, what do we have? Yesterday you told me that under working capital, we normally have 3 things. Under working capital, we normally have 3 things. What and what and what? So we have inventory. Thank you very much, Meshach. We have inventory here. We have, the next one is what here? Receivables, receivables, receivables. The last one, ladies and gentlemen, is what I've seen some of you mmeniambia hapo ni payables. Thank you very much, mother. Tuanze na inventory. Inventory. This is very easy. What you're supposed to know katika cash flow statement, whenever you are dealing with assets, whenever you are dealing with assets, whenever you are dealing with liabilities, we always use the concept of commanding officer. We always use the concept of what here? Commanding officer. Mayom is asking, what of tax up the stack it to cram? Itakuja baadaye. Mayom, si umewacha space hapa? Umewacha space? Sababu tukianza kutik hizi vitu, zitakuja peke yake tu automatically. Nataka stack it to cram. Nataka tu uanze kutikitiki vitu ambavyo tumeguza. Sitajileta zenyewe. Sasa Mayom, thank you very much. So unafaa kujua kwamba liabilities ni commanding officer. Liabilities ni mbaya, zinaweza kucommand, zinaweza kufanya ufunge biashara. Yani for liabilities, we shall always be taking closing minus opening. Unafaa kujua hivyo. Closing minus opening. Najua you understand, lakini kwanza andika tu namna hiyo. Closing minus opening. Closing minus opening. And for assets shall always be the opposite. Itakuwa ni opening minus what here somebody? Minus closing. Always. Opening minus closing. Opening minus closing. I know you haven't understood anything, but first of all, please tell me, have you written these 2 things somewhere? Have you written these 2 things somewhere, please? Yes, now you understand? Yes. Tuko rada. Great. Huyu hari tu ni mwanafunzi mgeni, ananiambia ako rada kabisa, which is very good. Sasa tuanza na inventory. And then remember, ladies and gentlemen, remember that all adjustments are normally done to the opening values. We normally, whenever we have got changes in between the year, we normally, in this case, ladies and gentlemen, adjust the opening balances. What do I mean? Tuanza na receivable. I'm not receivable, but inventory. Inventory, ladies and gentlemen, are you able to, inventory is an asset. Inventory is an asset. Are you able to see the opening balance of inventory? Kutoka kwa balance sheet. Inventory. Angalia current assets. Oh yeah. Inventory shigana. Opening ya 2016. Wanasema ni 3900 sio opening. Wewe, hii ni ya 2017 ndio closing. 2017 ndio closing. 2016 ndio opening. Opening ni 30. Opening pale nikiangalia vizuri, mimi kama naona vizuri ni 3090. So opening hapa ni 3090. So unajiuliza, did we have any changes in the group? Did we have any changes? We call them legal changes, either acquisitions of new subsidiaries, etc. ama disposal. Yes, we did. Tulikuwa na disposal katika note number 2. Na hiyo asset, hiyo subsidiary ambayo tulidispose ilikuwa na inventory ya pesa ngapi? Inventory ya pesa ngapi? We disposed 90. So disposed means we are subtracting. So I'm making the adjustment to the opening. Minus 90. That is it. And then now I come and subtract the closing inventory for the entire group. Closing inventory for the entire group ni ngapi? Oye. Closing inventory for the entire group inakuja ngapi? 3900. Inakuja 3900. Hebu nipatieni figure inakuja ngapi at the end of the day? Total figure inakuja ngapi? Oye, CNY. Uongo. Inakuja minus what here somebody? Is there somebody who's able to get minus 900? Are we getting minus 900? I'm a positive 900. 900 outflow. 900 outflow. 900 outflow. Good question there. Sasa hata sitaki mwanza kumeki argument ya outflow. Mimi nikifanya ni vigilation ya exams wanahurumia wanafunzi. Unapata jamaa, hii vitu anaanza kufikiria, now is this an increase? Why should you do that? right? Ukipanga namna hii, kitu nimekuambia commanding officer, at the end of the day ukipata negative, unaandika negative bila kufikiria. Wacha tuone unasema namna gani. Wanasema 900, is it an inflow or an outflow? Is it an inflow or an outflow? Hiyo ndio sitaki wanafunzi wangu wachanganyikiwe. Nataka nirudie tena woye. Please allow mwalimu arudie tena. Ukitaka hata anaweza kachora T account, Ukitaka mwalimu anaweza kachora T account, aseme inventory, tuseme hapa balance, in this case here brought down. So balance brought down ile ya 2016, the balance brought down ile ya 2016 ilikuwa ni 3090. Ilikuwa ni 3090 ile ya 2016, 3090. Na kuna balance carried down ile ya current year, which is 2017, which is 3000 what here somebody 3900, right? And then we had disposal. We had in this case here a disposal. We disposed some inventories with our subsidiaries. Inventory with our subsidiary which was disposed ilikuwa ngapi somebody? Subsidiary disposed inventory nyinyi mliniambia ni 90. Nyinyi mlinieleza ni 90. Sasa hebu kuja niongezee please, nipatini hii side kubwa. Hii side kubwa itakuwa 3990. Kwa hivyo hii lazima pia ikuwe 3990. Si ni kweli? 3990, right? 3990. So then the balancing figure here inakuja ngapi somebody? The balancing figure inakuja ngapi somebody? Inakuja 900. So this balancing figure, ladies and gentlemen, basically what are we doing? We have debited our inventory with 900 and credited what here somebody? Our bank. Credited our bank. We have credited our bank. If you credit your bank, what does it mean? It means, ladies and gentlemen, that it is a cash outflow. Alafu msianze kukram ile kitu ati increase. Hizo mimi najua sana. Ati increase, ati in working capital, ati because ukiangalia like the other sitting, there is a sitting here they brought a situation where one subsidiary was acquired in the year and another subsidiary in this case was done what year? Disposed in the year. Is there a student who can remember that kind of a question where they gave us a situation where a subsidiary was acquired in the year and another subsidiary was sold in the year? Is there somebody who can remember something like that? Yeah. So unajua ukiambiwa kwamba subsidiary ilikuwa disposed in the year, nitasema hapa minus 90. Na kama kuna subsidiary nyingine ambayo ilikuwa acquired in the year, nitakuja niseme perhaps hapa plus what? Plus 80. So I make all my adjustments to the opening stock. And then not stock, but opening figures. And then I subtract the closing like that. And then nikipata hii figure ikiwa ni minus 900, I'll not start in this case, ladies and gentlemen, I will not start asking questions about what happened to working capital. No. Nikipata minus figure, that is it. I know it's what here somebody, it's a cash outflow. Sasa sinikupatia dakika moja ukitumia this shortcut, wewe unifanyia receivables tuone. Hebu nifanyia receivables tuone. Bila kufanya arguments. Sitaki kuona mwanafunzi akisema arguments is that is we bought whatever. I don't want to see those things. Nataka shortcut. Because remember, this entire question has to be done in maximum of 40 minutes. In a maximum of 40 minutes. Wanasema kwamba it's 135 negative. Thank you very much. So receivables, ladies and gentlemen, I have to begin with opening figures. So for receivables, the opening figure I'm being told is 3120. Are you able to see it's 3120? Are you able to see it's 3120, the opening? For inventory, yes. Did we sell or buy any subsidiary in the year? We sold a subsidiary which had some receivable of 100 and what year? 35. We sold. So the receivable sold here will be minus 135, like that. And then now minus the closing receivables figure. The receivables figure for 2017. The receivables figure for 2017, which was what somebody here, which was 3120. So could you kindly give me the final figure? Nakuja minus what here? Minus 135. So mimi, wewe ukiendelea kupiga ma elbows zako ukisema is it an increase? Mimi nasonga Ebu using this shortcut, nipatieni figure ya payables jameni. Using this shortcut ya payables, nipatieni the shortcut, nipatieni figure ya payables. Nipatieni figure ya payables, nipatieni figure ya payables. Nipatieni figure ya payables. Using this shortcut, ebu nipatie figure ya payables. Wanasema ni plus 1710. Wanasema ni plus 1710. Plus 17. Payables is a liability. And for liabilities, as I do my computations, as I want to get whether we had an increase or a decrease, kama staki ma arguments mingi, kama umezeeka kama mimi, unajua liabilities always ni commanding officer. Yani ni closing minus what here somebody? Minus opening. Usiconfuse tafadhali. Closing minus opening. So unajiuliza, what was the closing payables figure? What was the closing payables figure? Are you able to see the closing payables figure? Closing payables figure. Is there somebody who is able to see the closing payables figure? Wanasema at 29.55. So wanasema 29.55 minus the opening. You know, I don't do adjustments in the closing. I always do my adjustments in the opening. Is there somebody who is able to see the opening payables? Opening payables. Is there somebody who is able to see the opening payables? Wanasema ni 1765, 1785, 1785. But remember, from this opening, you're supposed to adjust for what year? For any payables that were disposed with the subsidiary. For any payables that were disposed with the subsidiary. Zilikuwa watu ngapi? Somebody the payables disposed with the subsidiary. Payables disposed with the subsidiary 540, like this. Sasa ebu angalia mahali bracket zangu ziko. Kama ningekuwa wewe hata ningeanza na hii bracket. Nichukue this minus this. Whatever I get, I'll come and say 29.55 minus whatever we have there. Whatever we have there. What are we able to see? Somebody, the final answer. 17 what here? 1710. Sasa nisikizeni, unajua unapoita hivi vitu payable, hauwezi ukaanza kumeka an argument kwamba ni minus. Hapana, ECFM. Hapana, si zote ni payable zote like that. So is it positive? 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 Ah, great. So positive like that. Unawachana nayo. Unawachana nayo. Sasa pia unawacha ka space ka kutosha kama line mbili, sio mingi sana. Unawacha space ya kutosha kama line ngapi? Line mbili. Niambie kama umewacha space jameni. Niambie kama umewacha space jameni. Umewacha space line mbili, alafu sasa unatafuta free low hanging marks. Unaenda kwa the next one. Unaenda kwa the next one. The next bunch of activities unaziita investing activities. Investing activities, oh yeah. Investing activities, we are basically looking at, generally, in most cases, investing activities, we are looking at the movements in property, non-current assets, basically. Non-current assets. Non-current assets. We normally invest in non-current who? Non-current assets. Sasa unaenda ukisoma pole pole, and I hope you guys are taking those things. Is 540 added? Ngoja kidogo. Wanasema ni 630. Ngoja kidogo. Ngoja hapo nimewashinda kidogo. Nimewashinda kidogo hapo, ngoja kidogo. Ngoja kidogo. Is getting 630. Is getting 630. Tumia brackets poa. Tumia brackets poa. Unaambiwa hapa, tafadhali. Kwanza kuja hapa kwa hii bracket. Sema 1785 minus 540. Mayomo unapata ngapi? And then whatever you get, deduct it from 29.55. Deduct it from 29.55. Deduct it from 29.55. Are you able to get that 1710 positive? Yes. Great. Now we can continue. Thank you very much for asking that. Now we can continue. So in investing activities, I'm basically looking at the disposal of assets. That is a divestment. Divestment, we get money, right? Or procurement of what here? Assets. Procurement of non-current assets. Procurement of long-term assets. So unaanza kuangalia swali pole pole. Hata unaweza ukaanza na note hapa. Hebu tuanza na note number 1. Tuanza na note number 1. Note number 1. What are they telling us in note number 1? Note number 1. Note number 1. Wanasema During the year ended 31st October 2017, depreciation of shillings 240 million was charged in relation to property, plant and equipment. Haya, hiyo najua nitaitumia mahali, lakini tuende kwa number 2 kwanza. An item of property with a carrying value of 885 million was disposed of during the year ended 31st October 2017. For how much, somebody? 750 million. So in this one here directly, which figure should I capture here? Should I use that 885 here or 750? You know, it's an asset that was disposed. So it's like divestment. Divestment, we are going to, of course, to lose an asset, but we shall get money. We shall get money, 750 years. So unasema hapa cash received. Cash received. Cash received from cash received from an asset disposed. From an asset disposed. Mbesha shigana. Wanasema ni 750. Wanafunzi wengine wakiendelea kufikiria zaidi, mark inaingia tu. Kitu ya maana hapo ni mark kuingia. So cash received from an asset, in this case here, that was done what year? Disposed. Hii mimi najuanga sana. Sasa najua nikiwa na cash received nimepewa, najua next itakuwa ni cash paid. Cash paid, najua hii sana. Cash paid, in this case here, to acquire who? To acquire an asset. To acquire assets, to acquire new PPE. To acquire new PPE, imi nitapata haraka sana. Hebu nikupatie dakika moja, nione kama unaweza kupata hiyo cash, which in this case here was paid. In this case here, for us to acquire PPE. To acquire PPE. Cash which was paid to acquire PPE. Aya, nimeona property, plant and equipment. Nimeona property, plant and equipment. Wanasema 900. Esther anasema 69 something, Note 4. Meshkeep ananiambia mwalimu, check note 4. Additional property, plant and equipment was acquired by way of lease amounting to 900 million during year ended 31st October 2017. Lease haitakuja direct hapa. Itaingia kwa working hapa. Because lease, no money was involved directly. No money was involved directly. Hii 900 anatoa wapi? Nataka kujua sana woye. 900. Hebu niambieni wanafunzi wangu, 900 mmetoa wapi? Please niambieni. 900 mmetoa wapi? Ningetaka sana kujua. Please ni explain kidogo. Note 3. Note 3. Note 3. 900. 900. Sioni 900. Note 3 sioni 900. 900. Ile ni lease. Ile ni lease. Ile ni lease. Hapa itabidi, ladies and gentlemen, hapa tuchore T account. Ingawa mimi sipendi T account at all, but please let's do a T account for this property, plant and equipment. Let's do this T account for property, plant and equipment. So for property, plant and equipment T account, si ni asset. So nasema hapa balance brought down. So balance brought down ilikuwa ngapi somebody? Balance brought down ilikuwa ngapi somebody? Balance brought down ilikuwa ngapi somebody ya PPE? 13,500. Aki mumeanza kuchoka. Ama mimi ndo na wajaji vibaya. Aki nyinyi mmeanza kuchoka. Umeanza kuchoka woye. Wameanza kuchoka woye. Mko rada Hiyo ndio kitu ya maana zaidi. Hiyo ndio kitu ya maana zaidi. Wanasema mwalimu, si tuko rada. Zina sync. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, straight away I have the balance which was carried down here. So balance carried down ni how much? Balance carried down ya PPE ni ngapi? Wanasema ni 18,000. 18,000. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, some of the things that will make this PPE value to go down, I know them. For example, I know depreciation will reduce this. Remember, these are net book values, They're net book values. Depreciation. Is there somebody who is able to see depreciation for this PPE? Depreciation yangapi? Somebody, note number 1, 240. Thank you very much. The other thing that will make this particular item here to disappear, ladies and gentlemen, to reduce, will be the subsidiary that we sold. The subsidiary that we sold went away with some PPE, went away with some property. So the sub sold. The sub sold. Sub sold. In this case here, we have 2025. The sub sold was 2025. The sub sold was 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, I could see some new arrivals. I could see some new arrivals from note number 4. I can see there was some additional property. So note number 4, there was the leased property. the leased property. Nowadays, when you lease property, it is your asset, remember, long term. They have even told us additional property, plant, and they're even classifying it for us. Additional property, plant, and equipment was acquired by way of lease, which is what here, somebody, which is 900. Do we have any other item that will affect our PPE? Any other item that will affect our PPE? Disposed asset. Wanasema kuna disposed asset. Wanasema kuna disposed asset. Note number 2, yes. Note number 2, we have a disposed, an item of property with a carrying value of 885. You guys are bright students. So disposed asset is 885. Any other? Don't give us the cash here. Remember, it's PPE. Then we have students who are saying that we have a revaluation. So is it a revaluation upwards or a revaluation downwards? A revaluation upwards or a revaluation downwards? It's a revaluation upwards, meaning that I debit my PPE credit revaluations account. So I'll come here and debit my PPE with a revalued amount, revaluation over how much? Revaluation over how much? Revaluation over how much? 60. Mimi nakwambia wanafunzi makosa wanafunzi ufanya. So utapata kama sasa hivi tunasoma kitu kama novel. You guys are not ticking. You must tick everything. You must tick everything, including the items of the sole subsidiary that you have been able to use. You must tick them. You tick them. You tick them. So I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, whether we still have any other item that will affect our PPE. Any other item that will affect our PPE? I doubt, isn't it? So please give me the totals here. 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 Please give me the total. Iko. Wamesema 21,150. 21, hii ndio kubwa ukweli. Hii 21,150. Hii ni 21,150. Meaning that the balancing figure itakuja pande hii. Balancing figure. Revaluation amount is from where? Revaluation amount is from where? It's from note number 6. Note number 6. From note number 6. So unaniambia ni 66 what here somebody? Hii ni 6690. Hii ni 6690. 6690. So what do you think is this 6690 to us? Is it a flower? I can see my assets went up, isn't it? Yeah, my assets went up. So this must be the assets that we paid for in cash. So this one here must be the assets, ladies and gentlemen, that we have here, which are which perhaps we paid through a check like that. So we shall debit PPE, we credit bank, we credit bank. So in this case, ladies and gentlemen, what I want you to write there is a cash paid to acquire assets. I have already the figure, the words here. Cash paid to acquire assets here, to acquire PPE. Wanasema ni 66 what here? 6690 like that. 6690. 6690. Acquisition of PPE. Aya, bado mko rada ama bado ama mmeanza kuchoka sasa? Wako rada kweli? Au wanafunzi wangu wako rada wanashikanisha maneno? Yeah, for PPE you can go for T account. For PPE you can go for a T account. It's negative because of what your cash paid. It's negative. Thank you very much. It's negative because of cash that was done what year that was paid. Allow me to change my battery. Dakika moja. What I know for PPE, that will be T account will be very good. Also dividends, especially dividends, for you to get dividends paid to NCI, it will be good for you to have what year? A T account. Great. Thank you very much, Becky. Try as much as possible to give answers to my students. So cash paid to acquire PPE, it's a cash outflow. It's a cash outflow. Oh yeah. Kumbuka, investing activities, unaangalia pale non-current. Unaangalia non-current what here somebody. Unaangalia non-current, unaangalia non-current assets. Ukiona goodwill, ladies and gentlemen, of course, in this case, you must think of your subsidiary. Subsidiary. Goodwill has an association with what year? Subsidiary. So I would want to know, when I disposed this subsidiary of mine, how much cash did I receive? Because it's a cash flow I'm more interested in. I'm more interested in the cash that was done what year, somebody? The cash that was received. The cash that was received. The cash that was received. Cash that was received. So mkinialau nitavuta hii jameni hii. So now I'm perusing through my non-current assets. Nimeona kuna kitu inaitwa goodwill. Goodwill has got every relationship with what we call a subsidiary. And for the subsidiary, ladies and gentlemen, for the subsidiary, I'll come straight away here and account for the cash received on disposal of a sub. Hii inakuanga ni free mark. Tulipata mbesha shiga na ni kijaman. Tulipata pesa ngapi tulipouza hii subsidiary? Tulipata 1170. Lakini kumbukeni pia hapo usidanganyike, hii subsidiary pia ilienda na pesa zingine. Kuna pesa ilienda nazo. Ilikuwa na cash itself. Some cash which went away with it. There is some cash which went away with it. Are you able to see the cash and the bank balance under this subsidiary which was sold? It was what here, somebody? It was 105. It was 105. Hapa, hii ni free mark. So ukiangalia disposed asset, we received fine 1170, lakini subsidiary tukiuza ilikuwa na pesa fulani kwa mfuko ikaenda na. So unangoa hizo 105. Unangoa hizo 105, which in this case here gives us what here, somebody? 1065. Aya, unaendelea mbele, ladies and gentlemen, unaendelea kuangalia hii non-current assets, non-current assets. Ladies and gentlemen, remember in the non-current assets, I can see I have investment in associate. I'm an investor. I've invested in an associate, right? I've invested in an associate. I've invested in an associate. I've invested in an associate. So come here and give us, ladies and gentlemen, come here straight away. I can see what those students are saying there. Later on, we shall be able to make those adjustments. Staki to cram, nataka zibaki zikihang, kama 600, itabaki kihang. Mara mwisho tuta add tu, tutaka add. Ama mnataka tuka add sahi. Mnataka tuka add sahi. No. And after all, I could even assume kwamba hiyo ni long term, isn't it? Aya, tukuje hapa, ladies and gentlemen. Now sasa hapo ukiangalia vizuri, kuna, if I've invested in a subsidiary, nitakuja hapa niseme dividends received. Dividends received from where? From subsidiary. Dividends received from, not subsidiary. We can never receive money. We can never claim cash dividends received from ourselves. This is a big mistake on my side. The only dividend that we can claim to receive is dividend from third parties. Like associates are normally claimed to be our third parties and the joint ventures. So this cannot be a subsidiary. This should be dividends received from where? From an associate. We are investors from an associate. Aya. Sasa nipatieni figure tuone dividends that we received from our associate. Has it been given? Has it been given in the question? Have these dividends here been given in the question? Kila mwanafunzi anasema 54, but they're not telling us ziko wapi. They're not telling us ziko wapi. Dividends received. Dividends received from the associate. They're not telling us zimetoka wapi. Working, Aya, hebu wako mbio munipatie figure jameni. Dividends in this case here which have been received from the associate. What are we getting there? Working. Andika figures wengine waone ndio tunajua unajua. Andika figures haraka tuone kama unazijua kabisa kweli. Tuone kama unajua kabisa kweli. Wala ambao wanaongea hapo ni wachache sana. Wachache sana ndio wanaongea. Wachache sana ndio wanaongea. Wachache kabisa. Mbona wanaongea wachache namna hiyo? Na ni kitu straightforward. Ni kitu straightforward. Ni kitu straightforward. Where are we getting 1170 from? 1170. From this note. From this note, I'm leaving some of them. From note number 3. Note number 3. From note number 3. From note number 3. Wameng'ang'ana wote. So kila mwanafunzi anaona kweli hiyo working mali imetoka. Kila mwanafunzi kweli ameona hiyo working kweli ya 420. Wengi hawaoni hiyo figures. Wengi hawaoni hizo figures. Abracadabra. Bila hajaona bado. Napatia dakika mbili nikirudi tena sana kumaliza swali yote once. Fikiria. Vitu za hajaona bado. Fikiria, this is a straightforward one, not yet. Fikiria kidogo dakika moja. Fikiria dakika moja kidogo, nikirudi sana mbio. Case here, go straight away and even put down a T account if you like the T account. I know perhaps it's because some of you like this T account so much. Just give us there an associate, which is an investment, it's an asset to us, right? So give us the balance brought down. Balance brought down. I'd given you the where to get this thing from the non-current assets. The balance brought down. I can see the balance brought down there in 2016 was 420. 420. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we have the balance carried down in 2017. Balance carried down in 2017. Balance carried down in 2017 for the associate. Investment in associate. For investment in associate, the balance carried down is 510. And then, of course, this is equity. Remember, it's equity accounting. If it's equity accounting, we are more concerned with the profitability of either the associate or the joint venture. So this associate, do we know the share of the profit of the associate? Yes. In the income statement, they have given us. So in this case, in the income statement, I can see it's a profit. So credit on the P&L. So it has to be a debit on this. So here we have share of profit. Share of profit. So share of profit, I can see there is 144. Is 144. So when I add the two, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be able to see that this side is bigger. So this will be 564. And this is 510. Of course, the difference will be the dividend that this associate paid. So the dividend which was paid here is 54. The dividend which the associate paid is 54. So you can see it's accrued on the associate. So meaning that it must be a debit in our bank account. So it's cash that was received. Cash received from the associate, dividend received from the associate. We have 50 what here, somebody? We have 54. Dividend received from the associate, we have 54 like that. Now, if I'm the one doing this, ladies and gentlemen, in an exam, I'll not bother with, again, so much there. Here, I've been able to harvest a few things. I'll straight away go to the financing activities. Advanced financial reporting is not about getting everything. It's about harvesting maximum number of marks. So can we go to the financing activities? Can we go to the financing activities? Financing activities, yes. So unakuja hapo unaandika straight away financing activity. If you go looking for perfection in advanced FR, utapata shida sana. It's low hanging fruits, yes. Myself, I got awards, especially for financial reporting. The one that I'm even so happy about is the one that I got for advanced financial reporting in ACCA, right? And I've never balanced even a single query, especially when I was a student. I never used to balance them. It's about being able to do maximum in the short duration. Yes. So unakuja hapa kwa financing activities. Financing activities, unaangalia section gani ya balance sheet? financing activities, unaangalia section gani ya balance sheet. Unamwachia examiner afanye, yes. Unaangalia equity sana sana, equities, yes. Equities sana sana, equities. Kwa hivyo straight away namwandikia share capital. Namwandikia share capital. Kabla ujue ni kama ni cash received ama ni cash paid, unaacha hivyo share capital. I go to my balance sheet. I'm able to see under equity, I'm able to see ordinary share and the premium. Unazicombine. So we have share capital and what here somebody and share premium. Share capital and share premium. Share capital and share premium. You analyze them together, yes. Analyze them together. So share capital and share premium, ladies and gentlemen, are you able to see the closing balance? Are you able to see the closing balance? Yeah, share capital and the premium. Abracadabra, closing balance is 6,000 plus 9,000 plus 900 plus 900 plus 900 like that. Minus, in this case here, the opening. Minus the opening. Opening ni ngapi somebody? Ukiangalia opening share capital ni 4,500. 4,500 plus premium hapo ni 0. Premium ni 0. Kumbukeni ladies and gentlemen, hapa hata examiner akikudanganya, at times examiner anadanganya. Anakuja na kuambia pale kwa ile disposed subsidiary kwamba share capital ilikuwa maybe ni 500. At an expect to kujo subtract hapa. Remember when we were consolidating, we only took the share capital of who? The parent only, isn't it? We only took the share capital of the parent only, of the parent only, of the parent only. Kwa hivyo inatosha oye. Nipatieni figure inakuja ngapi? Nipatieni figure inakuja ngapi somebody? 2,400. So is it cash, is it positive or negative? Is it positive or negative? Is it positive or positive? So if it is positive, what does it mean? We received money. So you must have issued new shares. So you can mention here, this is cash received, cash received, cash received, like that. Ukitaka to demonstrate broad and deep understanding of the subject, unamwandikia hapa dash from issue of what here? New shares. But do you have that time? No, you don't have that time. You don't have that time. You don't have that time. Unasonga mbele. Now, ladies and gentlemen, from there, nimeona mwanafunzi akisema, je mwalimu dividend paid. Dividend paid huwa zinakuwa accounted under where? Dividend paid. Huwa zinakuwa accounted under where? Kumbuka kuna dividends that you receive. You receive dividends when you invest. But when you are paying, it is other people invested in you. Other people invested in your company. So other people financed you. Other people financed you. Other people financed you. Right? Right? Other people financed you. We keep real. Hata ikiwa negative haina shida. Wewe weka hata negative. Acha hizo narrations. In narration examine hata angalia. Hata ukiandika tu share capital and premium. Wacha leo maneno hiyo mingi hiyo. We hapa yeah, we kuja hapa niandikieni sasa hapa financing. So umesema dividends paid. These people financed you. So dividends paid. So dividends paid. Are you able to see the parent? Alilipa ngapi? Parent. The dividends that we paid to the parent shareholders. Iko note number ngapi? Note number 5, eh? Note number 5. Note number 5. Wanasema dividends paid by the holding company during the year. So our holding company paid 120 uneka brackets. Right? Okay, great. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we have in this case here dividends paid, in this case here to our NCI. This is a working that I'll never do. Not unless the examiner gives me this figure directly. Not unless the examiner gives me this figure directly, I'll never do it. The exam, nitamwandikia namna nini mwambia hata yeye mwenyewe examiner, mwandikie kwa bracket working. Nitakufanyia ndio lakini itakuwa ya mwisho. Itakuwa ya mwisho. NCI itakuwa ya mwisho. Inasumbua bure hiyo kitu because lazima utafute goodwill ya NCI alone, right? Nitakufanyia lakini acha afanye mbele. After all, there is so much ya kuangalia. Great. Ladies and gentlemen, apart from that, what other investments are you, no, not investments, but financing are you looking at? What else are you looking at? What else are you looking at? Loans, yes. Remember, actually, repayment of loans, yes. Borrowing, yes. Remember, actually, financing activities, you know, the way we say assets financed by equity and liabilities. So this should be equity and liabilities, yes. So please check whether there are any loans that you borrowed. Any loans in this case that we borrowed. Let me give you a minute to give me these loans, the bank loans. In this case, ladies and gentlemen, that were done what here, bank loans. So we have the bank loans. We have the bank loans there. You can see the bank loans, ladies and gentlemen, that we have here have been accounted for under non-current what? Liabilities. Non-current liabilities. Non-current liabilities. Non-current liabilities. Great. 1,000 addition. I'm waiting. For bank loans, how much do we borrow or how much do we retire? How much do we borrow or how much did we retire? Wanasema 1,800. 1,800. Leslie, 1,800. Mimi napata that 600. Mimi tuko na Aseto Andrew 1,200. Obadia Mulinge 1,800. 1,200 addition. Hiyo sitakufanyia, hiyo mimi sifanyi at all. Hiyo nataka kila mwanafunzi aseme mwalimu vuka. Hiyo sitakufanyia. Hiyo sitakufanyia at all. Answer ni 1,800. Sitakufanyia at all. Answer ni 1,800. 1,800, yes. So can I go to something different? 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 Bank loans is a must. Kwa cash flow lazima ikue. Bank loans is a must. Yo lazima ikue. Right? Tuwasaidie. Either upige T account ama ukuje useme hapa bank loan. Bank loan. It's a liability. So if it's a liability, I must start with closing. It's a liability, just like equity. I have to start with the closing. Closing figures minus opening figures. So the bank loan that I can see, ladies and gentlemen, here, closing for 2017 was 4,200. 4,200, I can see 4,200 minus the opening. So opening is 3,000, but remember, opening, we must make adjustments. Opening, we must make adjustments. I'm happy because I can see Charity amesema, mwalimu nimepata mwangaza ya maneno. So opening, we must make adjustments. So what adjustment are we making here kwa opening? Kuna kakitu ambao kalikuwa disposed. Na kalikuwa na ka bank loan. Ile bank loan mlikuwa mnaniambia mnandanganya ati niweke mahali fulani huko juu. Uongo. So hiyo ilikuwa ni disposed subsidiary 600. 600 like that. Abracadabra yeye na maneno mengi. Hebu subtract hii alafu less kwa hii for 200. Uniambia nakuja ngapi? 1,800. So this 1,800, is it a positive or a negative? Is it positive or negative? Shetani ni mbaya. It's positive. So if it's positive, hata si lazima uandike narration, wewe wachana ikiwa positive. Si lazima uandike narration, wachana ikiwa positive. It's a cash inflow. Wachana ikiwa hivyo. The other thing, ladies and gentlemen, remember we have some obligations there. Kuna obligations under finance lease. Umeona obligations under finance lease, right? Obligations under finance lease akuja hapo straight away. Obligations under finance lease. Kitu ya maana ni kwamba sasa ukienda kwa exam hawezi ukatoka bure. Obligations under finance lease wamenipatia figure ya 390 quite fast. Wanaambia mwalimu hiyo usijali nayo. Hii tumejua. Obligations under finance lease. Obligations under finance lease. Kumbuka ziko mbili, hapa ina fall under current and non-current. Ukaambiwa na mwalimu when there are two of them, lazima uzi consolidate. You must consolidate them. Ukiangalia pale tuko na obligations under finance lease. Kumbuka tunaanza na closing. So mimi naona pale 630 plus the one which is under current. Under current I can see is it 45. The current one. Wamekataa more cash, okay? Hebu tuangalie hiyo. Tuangalie hiyo. So wanasema ni 40 what here? 45. Minus opening. So the opening, what are you able to see there under opening? Under opening, ladies and gentlemen, under opening, what are we able to see there under opening? Opening, we have 135. So 135 plus what here, somebody? 135 plus who? Plus 135 plus 30. Plus 30. Kumbukeni, during the period, you also had some lease. During the period, kulikuwa na some lease kampia. Mnakumbuka kweli? Oh yeah, mnakumbuka lease mpya? Yes, 900. Unakuja unaongeza namna hiyo utupatia. Kumbuka all adjustments are normally done in the opening figures. All adjustments are normally done in the opening figures. All adjustments are normally done in the opening figures. Note number 4, yes. Note number 4, yes. All adjustments are normally done in opening figures. Never forget that. And ensure that you're using your body mass very well. So then what is the obligation amount there? It's negative. So kwa negative, hakuna kujali. So there is a sister who is telling us, mwalimu, the way I'm thinking, the way she's thinking, ati sasa hapa, kulikuwa na bank loan brought forward. Bank loan brought forward in 2400 after adjustment. And then we have bank loan carried forward. Bank loan carried forward. Yana make argument opposite. Ukiona bank loan carried forward is more. What does it mean? These people must have given you more cash. These people must have given you more cash. These people must have given you more cash. So it's a cash what here? A cash inflow to your side. A cash inflow to your side. Jamie anauliza 630. Please repeat for obligation. So for obligation, what do we have? We have the closing figures. Obligation, George angalia obligation. Kuna ile closing ya 2017 ya 630. Right? Alafu kuna obligation under finance lease under current. Yeah, 80, not 84, but 45. George, are you able to see that? So we added the two, right? George, yes, thank you very much. And then now minus the opening finance leases. So we have both of them, non-current and current. And then during the year, we added more finance leases worth 900. We added more finance leases worth 900. We added more finance leases worth 900, which have been given in note number 4. Note number 4. That's what we did. Alafu kitu mimi najua sana. Mimi nimefunza kitu sana. One thing I know and you will come to tell me. Ukishika shortcut ya kufanya hivi, hiyo kitu ya kujiuliza ati should I add or deduct, inasumbua wanafunzi sana. Ukishika shortcut ilianza na kufunza nayo ya liability closing minus opening, assets opening minus liability, then you'll be able to move very fast in this thing. Under financing, there is something you guys haven't told me. Remember, you borrowed heavily. There are bank loans that you have. Those bank loans, do you return them kavu? Bank loans, you must pay some interest. Yeah, you must pay some interest. So in this case here, come and give us the last thing here of interest paid. Interest paid. Give us the last thing there of interest paid. Give us the last thing there of interest paid. Interest that was paid. So this one again, I would want to give you a minute. Please do it there and give us the working there. Interest paid, you could either decide that you'll get some people saying you bring it here out of the whatever cash flows, but we would rather bring it under the financing. under the financing. Would rather bring it under the financing. Would rather bring this under the financing. Would rather bring this under the financing. Nilikuwa nishakimbia very fast under something they are calling accrued interest. Accrued interest. Kumbuka, the interest which you have in the income statement is the interest that is the interest for the year, but it was not the amount that we paid. It is not the amount that we paid. The amount we paid, we must involve the obligations at the beginning and obligations at the end. So the interest, ladies and gentlemen, there, the interest paid at the end of the day, there itakuwa namna gani? Oye itakuwaje? Interest paid, nitakuja hapa, interest paid. So interest paid. So the interest paid here, I'll take, of course, this is a loan. It's an obligation, I mean. So if it's an obligation, I'm taking closing minus opening. So interest paid, I can see interest paid, ladies and gentlemen, there. Interest paid, I can see the accrued interest. At the beginning, it was 21. Not 21, closing, I mean. Closing, yes, it was 21. Minus the opening. The opening here is 27. But now remember, this 27, you must make an adjustment for any changes. For any changes. Like here in the year, we know that the interest for the year, remember this is obligation at the end, obligation at the beginning. So the interest for the year is given under finance charge, which is 400 what here, somebody? 450, like that. Which will end up giving us what figure, somebody? Which will end up giving us the interest amount that was paid. 400 what here, somebody? 456. Nikishapata straight away, ndakumbuka straight away, quite easy things here. I have the tax that was paid here. Could you kindly give me the tax working? The tax that was paid. Please give me the tax that was paid. Negative, eh? It's negative. Please give me the tax that was paid. It's negative, sorry. Even from here, you can see 21 minus this. It's negative. The tax that was paid. The tax that was paid in the year. The tax that was paid in the year. Remember the asset, the subsidiary we disposed had some tax there. Had some tax. The tax paid, the tax paid, the tax paid, the tax paid, the tax paid. So anasema negative 144, the tax that was paid. Please don't work with the tax that was in the income statement only. No. That is tax for the year. 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 Some anasema negative 3. Negative 3. Some anasema negative 3. Infinix Hot 108. I like this class because of diversity. Everybody has their own figures, which is very good. The bill says negative 3. So the students who got negative 3 there, could you try to write down the working for us? Try to write down the working for us. Try to write down the working for us for tax that was paid. Kipkorori, thank you very much. Wanakuja na figure yake 108 negative. The students who got negative 3 there, could you kindly give us the working that you did for you to be able to get the tax of negative 3? Tax ya negative 3, hiyo mnapataje? Ama tax ya 108, mnapataje? Tax ya 108, mnapataje the tax that was paid as 108? 165 tax paid. So, let's see. So we are consolidating everything there. So I have deferred tax. We are consolidating everything. Aya, wacha tuone wale ambao wanapata 108. Wale wanapata 108, hebu tupatie working yenu. Wale wanapata 108 wanachukua 21 minus 63 plus 144 minus 15. So we have minus 21. Let's see. Pay 285. Pay 285. Hata kama hakuna. Ladies and gentlemen, the tax that was paid here, let's see. The tax that was paid here, ilikuwa namna gani? So remember that this is an obligation that we have there. It's an obligation that we have there. So the tax that was paid at the end of the day, let's combine both deferred and what here? Current tax. We amesema 174. 1024 plus 84 plus 15 minus 915. Kila mtu akona yake. Kila mtu akona figure yake. Kila mtu akona figure yake. So problem pale iko wapi? Na hakuna a lot of information. Hakuna a lot of information. So let's do it together. So the tax that was paid. The tax paid. So this is closing minus opening. Closing minus opening. So the closing here for the tax paid 2017. For the tax paid 2017. So I have 2017 obligations. I can see deferred tax of 1020 plus what here somebody? I can see current tax of 84 minus opening. So opening, I can see 915 plus what here? 63. All right, plus 63. But again, remember that there was a disposal that has to be adjusted in the opening amount. A disposal over how much here somebody? A disposal over how much here somebody? A disposal of 15. A disposal of 15. And then again, remember that there is tax for the year. There is tax for the year. Did you remember tax for the year? Tax for the year ilikuwa ngapi? Somebody tax for the year. Tax for the year. Tax for the year ilikuwa 144. So of course this is increasing this opening. So plus 144. Hebu niambie final answer itakuwa ngapi somebody? Final answer itakuja kuwa negative what year? Negative 3. So the tax paid is negative 3 like that. The tax paid is negative 3. Tax paid is negative 3. Tax paid is negative 3. Negative 3. Negative 3. So ladies and gentlemen, hiyo mali mimi nimefikisha. I want to believe I've shown you everything that you need for purposes of what here? Low-hanging fruits. And if you allow me, I would want to do something a bit different. We are not here to balance anything. I want to believe I've given you the low-hanging fruits. Iko mwana nataka NCA itakusumbua bure. Itakusumbua bure. Umeniokolea. Inflow and outflow can be confusing, yes. Inflow and outflow can be confusing, right? Hiyo inakutosha. Why do you want all the marks? Why do you want all the marks? Hiyo inakutosha. All the marks. I think I've done also this question on YouTube. Not YouTube. I have it somewhere. If you want all the marks, then I should be able to give you. Great. Wacha na hizo vitu vingine mingi. Nilikuwa mbali. Asante teacher, nilikuwa mbali. Asante sana. Asante sana. Asante sana. How I wish ungekuwa unafunza hii unit. Angalia huyu sasa. Aya, sasa